I start from where we've just started, Abbotsbury Beach car park, and I walk the 8 miles along the beach down to Ferry Bridge, and I'm watching the strand line all the way along, looking for dead seabirds. There's usually a strand line right along the top from where a high tide has pushed everything up. That would be like the highest strand line of the winter, but there's quite likely to be another strand line just below that crest there, so still quite high up the beach, but not as high as we are, because I mean, as you can see, it's quite a big drop down there. What's that bird out there? It's a great crested grebe on the sea out there. And then there'll be one right down on the lower shelf from the, like perhaps today's high tide, you know. So I'm trying to keep an eye on all of the strand lines as I go along. The RSPB every year, late February, run this nationwide beach bird survey, and everybody's out counting dead birds on their stretch of coast and monitoring or recording whether there's any oil on the dead birds they find. So it's like an index of oil pollution, really. The amount of dead birds you find is very variable. I've walked along there and found hardly any, or I've found over 100, and I don't really know how to interpret that, because, you know, obviously birds do die of natural causes, and, you know, you could see a larger number of dead birds as an indicator of larger numbers out there in Lyme Bay. Alternatively, if there's a lot of dead birds, it might mean there is a problem, you know. Some black-headed gulls just going out there. We're going out to roost, I guess. Yeah, very safe for them. Other than when the Napoli came around that year, I did have quite a few oiled ones, but most years it's only a minority that I've got any oil on. I suspect most of them are probably birds that have just not found enough food, which is bound to happen, you know. Species, condition, how long it's been on the beach, has it got any oil on it? I mean, that's what it's all about, gathering that information. I'll have a look enough to identify it and check it for rings, because you get ringed birds. I've had dead guillemots and razorbills along here with rings on that have come from Irish Sea breeding sites, like off southern Ireland and off western Scotland. And a great skewer as well, a ringed great skewer that was from, I think it was from Unst in Shetland. At migration times, spring and autumn, I come out here and I go the other way, go west. There's a good place there where I stand on the beach looking inland, and you get migrant birds flying along the beach, usually when there's a wind that's along the shore, either southeast or northwest, and you get migrant birds passing there quite often in very large numbers, especially in the autumn, and I just go there to watch that spectacle, and I count the birds and record it. I've been doing that for about sort of probably 12 years there. You know, to see birds actively migrating, it's quite thrilling. This stuff's quite weird, isn't it? This is these lumps. I think they're peat. I've been told they're peat, probably from something to do with the undercliff to the west of us. I don't really know how they wash up, but obviously they do wash up. Oh yeah, there is a gull roost out there. A little pack of gulls settled on the sea, where that one just taken off from there. I take photographs, just random photographs really of stuff, because you find all sorts of interesting bits and pieces on here. You find an incredible selection of footwear, soft fruit, cigarette lighters, cuddly toys. I found an armchair, you know, way down, not halfway, but perhaps another mile or two down from where we are now. There was an armchair on top of the beach, and there was an empty bottle of, I think it was vodka, near it. I mean, the vodka might have been completely unrelated to the armchair, but it just looked like somebody'd been sat there having a bottle of... I am very, very focused on how far I've gone and how far I've got to go. It usually takes me about sort of 6 or 7 hours, you know. Well, probably 7, right? Nearer 7 than 6. On the crest of the beach there, you'll see a black hut.
Cool, these are good, aren't they?
They are good, yeah. That's quite a big hut. I mean, it's taller than a person, that hut. And when you get there,
Wow.
starting at this end, you're 1/3 of the way there.
That's a really long way.
You know, I always get quite a sense of achievement when I get to the other end, you know. I don't know what I'd feel like if I got to the other end and found that I didn't have a lift back to my car.